interdependent origination.
That's right. Okay. So that sounds to me like a contingency, right? That they depend on each other. But then you said something that they call each other forward, which is a different thing. And I think it is important to make the distinction that in my worldview, I don't see existence and void being contingent upon each other. I see them more like they call each other forward. So I think then it would be important to introduce the idea of an antinomy, which is the specific type of paradox that's at play here. So being contingent has this idea of dependence, meaning that you're starting to call forward precedents, like one happens over the other or one justifies the other in a discrete way, which then we can see how that devolves into this issue of boundaries and trying to understand, well, what is the boundary and how can it be there and all these things. So I think that once we understand that there isn't one that precedes the other, that's already you're introducing space and time, which you're just talking about existence at that point. So you cannot talk about precedence, you cannot talk about contingency. I think, and this is why I like to use the word antinomy, is that um, one thing can only exist through its own negation. So that really starts to show how the two are made one. So a little bit more closer to the idea that void is something that that can be encapsulated within this idea that negation or something exists through its own negation. That's the closest bound thing or object that's possible. So where the boundary comes in is the human mind, like where human consciousness is capable of arriving at that idea, which is the infinity limited idea that I discuss. That the real boundary is just the paradox that we experience in our consciousness when we think about void and the relationship between void and existence.